What's good, YouTube? This is just my All-Star Snub video. The first video I tried to upload to this channel was predictions, my All-Star Reserve predictions, but I made it and the video was like 6 minutes and some change. But when I looked at it on YouTube, it was only like a minute and 30 seconds, so I deleted it. But I still got my list right here. So in the West, I had Westbrook, Kevin Love, I had Al Jefferson, I had Tony Parker, I had LaMarcus Aldridge, I had Marc Gasol, and Monte Ellis. Those were my West predictions. In the East, I had Joe Johnson, Roy Hibbert, Danny Granger, Brandon Jennings, Darren Williams, and Chris Bosh. And then the actual reserves were Love, Aldridge, Westbrook, Dirk Nowitzki, Tony Parker, Steve Nash, and Marc Gasol. In the East, it was Chris Bosh, Joe Johnson, Paul Pierce, Hibbert, Darren Williams, Dang, and Iguodala. Now that I think about it, I left out one player on my predictions for the East. That's because I had it between 3 players. I was thinking if you were going to give it to a player on a good team, you got to go with Luol Deng because they're the best team in the East. If you were going to go with a good player on a terrible team, you'd go with Amari Stoudemire. And if you were going to pick a Celtic, which I hate the Celtics, but if you had to pick a Celtic, you'd go with Paul Pierce. And my snubs, first of all, I agree with, I think it was Charles Barkley who said Dirk Nowitzki and Steve Nash got Lifetime Achievement Awards. Yeah, they didn't really deserve it. My favorite player is Dirk Nowitzki, and my best friend's favorite player is Steve Nash. And in real life, those two are actually best friends. But he's been trying to pump me up all season, telling me that Steve Nash should be an all-star. But he's been putting up some decent numbers, but he's playing on a terrible team. And Darren Williams did the same thing. He put up better numbers, but he's on a terrible team. But he still made the all-star team. You know what I'm saying? But here are my snubs. These are my official snubs. For the West, for, let's say, Dirk and Steve Nash, you could have put in Rudy Gay. You could have put in Gallinari or Todd Lawson. And some people on TNT were talking about maybe Nene. The Rockets are playing good. You could have put in Kevin Martin or Kyle Lowry. Both of them having really good seasons. Then if you were going to go with somebody, like I think Al Jefferson should have made it over Marc Gasol, but anyway. My players I had that were unlikely picks, but possibly could have sneak into the game if there were injuries or something like that. Marcin Gortat, he's been having a pretty decent season. I think he'll eventually make some all-star teams. He's a really good big man. He put some numbers, man. Tyreke Evans, the Kings aren't playing great. They did just beat the Thunder on national TV last night, but Tyreke Evans. DeMarcus Cousins, I think he's going to be an all-star in 2 years. If not next year, but definitely in 2 years, I believe DeMarcus Cousins will be an all-star, with no doubt. No doubt he'll be an all-star. And then Ricky Rubio, I think, would have been fun to see. The East, like I said, if you had to pick a Celtic, you'd go with Paul Pierce. He's been playing the best. If not Paul Pierce, the next in line would be Rondo. I'm thinking Kyrie Irving possibly could have made the team. He's been putting up some pretty phenomenal numbers. Nothing that we haven't seen before, but you know, pretty good numbers. Like I said, Granger could have made it. He's the best player on the Pacers, but Hibbert made it because you had to have a backup center on each team. So, He's the next best center in the East. He's putting up numbers, giving you points, rebounds, blocks, shooting a high percentage from the field. Stoudemire possibly could have made it. The Knicks definitely didn't deserve multiple All-Stars this year, by no means, so he didn't make it. Earlier in the season, if you would have asked me, I definitely had Ryan Anderson as a lock to make the All-Star team, for sure, because he was just flat out balling. And those are my snubs, man. My biggest snub is Monte Ellis. I don't see how you can put Steve Nash, who's on a bad team and having an alright season, on the All-Star team, and put Darren Williams, who's having a good season. I understand Darren Williams. Darren Williams is a flat out All-Star. Flat out All-Star. I understand why he made it. I voted for him to make, you know what I'm saying? I voted for Darren Williams to make it. I had him in my predictions as making it, but you're rewarding guys who are playing good on bad teams, but you didn't put Monte Ellis in the game. He's averaging 22.6 and 6 and 3 and almost 2 steals. And then you got, you know what I'm saying? He just had a 48-point game against the Thunder. They lost, but 48 points is 48 points. That's pretty much my biggest thing. That's pretty much my biggest grudge against the All-Star game right now. But they switched up the rookie sophomore game. If you haven't heard, they're changing the name to the Rising Stars. They're putting a pool of 18 players in the game. It's going to be rookies and sophomores. And Shaq and Charles Barkley are going to be coaching the teams. And they get to draft the players for each team, so they can be rookies and sophomores on the same team. I think that'll be pretty cool. Shaq won the coin toss, and he said he's going with Blake Griffin. It's gonna be very interesting. I think that's a pretty good. That's a little switch up, a little improvement. I like that. I think it'll be fun. But anyway, that's just my thoughts. Dirk Nowitzki's my favorite player. Steve Nash was one of my favorite point guards until he left Dallas. I just hate to see that guys like Ellis, Gallinari, and Al Jefferson didn't make it. I really hate to see that. But you can't pick everybody. You can't pick everybody. I understand that to the fullest. That's it. Peace.